David, let's start with you. Before this movie was going to be an animated series, and I think you were in charge. What difference did you note when the story passed from one medium to the other? How much is the difference process of making a series to pass into a movie?
Well, the process is very similar in the same where we are thematically challenging our character. We had an overarching beginning, middle, and end. Jason and I both came from feature animation, and so that was always the intent. But yes, we did have to shift a lot of things. But the one thing I loved about being a series initially is one of our goals was to show community, to show more characters than we had in the first film, and to have Moana go out on a canoe with a crew. And so in a series, we were really able to workshop and get to know each one of these new characters and find out how they really work. But then we had to do a lot of work to make everything fit into a feature format because this film needed to be on the biggest screen possible. We like to, the story was always telling us what it wanted to be. And ultimately, we all caught up and made it for the biggest screen possible.
And that's great because like more ideas, and in the movie is something different. It's a new experience. It's exciting, really, more or less. Let's see now. Well, Dana, you all saw the first movie, obviously. What was the idea like? What did you want to separate from the first movie to the second? Like the idea wasn't to see Moana the repetition, so more ideas. What worked in the first one? What can work now in the second one? What was the process in mind?
Absolutely. It was really important to all of us, I would say, that we make sure that we were being true to who Moana is. In the first film, she goes on this adventure. She figures out a lot about herself. She becomes a wayfinder. And so we are all fans of that film. And so we decided to start this film by thinking about what happens right after that. She has to go, but after she defeats Taka and meets Tafiti, she has to go home and she becomes a leader there and really takes ownership of that. And so, in thinking about that and thinking about how the first film really connected her to her past, I started thinking about what it would mean to be a leader in the present and how, if Motunui is thriving, what's next? And so we started thinking about the future. And as a young leader who really cares deeply about her people, it's Moana's responsibility to lead them into the kind of future she wants for them. And it just so happens at the beginning of our film that she gets a call from the ancestors to do exactly that. And she has to really start asking herself questions that she wasn't asking herself in the last film. She had different concerns in the last film, but now she's really looking forward and trying to decide what kind of future she wants for her little sister, Simea, who's a whole new piece of this puzzle. But when you have a little sister who you love so much, you start thinking about those things. What's the future going to be like for her? Will it be the same as it is right now, or does it need to grow and expand? And what would be the best version of that? And that's really what drives her forward in this film.
Let's hope, because it's an interesting focus because most Disney princesses don't have sisters, little sisters, the frozen sisters excluded. So it was a new angle for this character as well. And also to see her sort of friendship with Maui, how it developed, more or less. Jason, what was the idea to these characters are like iconic. They're very new characters in the Disney canon, but everybody loves them, everybody recognizes them. What was the idea of sort of not only Moana's journey, but also showcasing Maui sort of being his helper, her guide, sort of, and always being a little bit funny or a goofball.
Yeah, that was such a huge part. I would for sure would not wanted to work on this unless we were going to bring those two people back together. It's so much fun. It's such a huge part of the first film. And what I think we, again, sort of like similar to what Dave and Dana have been saying, is we really started off with where they ended, which is they've now become really good friends and really rely on each other. But in doing so, that means they formed a caring relationship, like a big brother and a little sister kind of situation. And if you go off together on a new adventure where there's a lot of things, putting them in danger, that also means it's vulnerable for both of them. And so that we use that quite a bit at the end of this film as they go off in this incredibly crazy, epic monster cursed storm. But that also means that, somebody you care about is in danger. You're worried for them. And that's a really powerful thing as storytellers to see. And we really test the relationship. And I think we put both Moana and Maui, we have a lot of fun with them. Maui sings an incredible new song. Moana and him have a really great time. but at the same time, they're really tested, and we put them up against this incredible storm, and it's not easy for them. So I think we people are going to be really excited and surprised by how we actually push the relationship as far as possible.
Could this possibly lead to, maybe if one of you would be interested, could this possibly lead to a Moana 3, more or less?
We
We're
worked
so
really, really hard to get this one done.
yeah.
So right now we're just enjoying the fact that we finished. We literally just finished a few weeks ago, and we're just now seeing it all put together and having the first people see it. So for right now, we're just so excited about Moana 2.
Hi, everyone. We're the directors of Moana 2, and we are so excited for you to see our film.
Yeah, go see it November 28th.
Woo! You'll love it. Thank you.